Hey everyone, Isho here. In our last two videos, we explored the fascinating connections between Christianity, Judaism, and Hinduism, as well as the link between Enoch and Thoth. Now in this video, we're shifting gears for a deep dive into Buddhism. This is a crash course for anyone who hasn't yet had a chance to explore this profound philosophy. Let's dive in. Siddhartha Gautama was born into the Shakya clan, a warrior family, Kshatriya, part of a lineage mentioned in Hindu texts as being descendant from the great kings of Surya Vansha, including figures like Harishchandra and Lord Rama. His father, King Suddhodana, was determined that Siddhartha would not become a Dharma teacher, so he shielded him from the harsh realities of the outside world, keeping him entertained with luxury, women, and indulgence. But as Siddhartha grew older, he demanded to leave the palace. His father arranged a controlled journey through the city, hoping to shield him from the suffering of the world. But on this journey, Siddhartha encountered four life-changing sights: old age, sickness, death, and the ascetic. When Siddhartha saw the old man, he asked his charioteer, Channa, "What is this man? Why is his hair white, his back bent, and his body so feeble?" Channa replied, "He is an old man. All people grow old." Upon seeing the sick man, Siddhartha asked, "What is wrong with this man? Why is he suffering?" Channa answered, "He is sick. Sickness comes to all." When Siddhartha came across a dead body, he asked, "What has happened to him? Why does he not move?" Channa replied, "He is dead. All must die." And finally, when Siddhartha saw an ascetic monk, he asked, "Who is this man, dressed so simply yet so serene?" Channa replied, "He is a holy man. He has renounced the world to seek truth." The sight of these four signs deeply shocked Siddhartha, and for the first time he realized that life was impermanent and filled with suffering. Determined to understand the nature of existence, he renounced his royal life, gave away his possessions, and joined ascetic practitioners in search of spiritual truth. For years, he endured extreme self-discipline, living off berries and whatever food he could find in the jungle. But one day, he saw a man sitting in a boat playing a veena. The man spoke a simple yet profound truth. If you tighten the string too much, it will snap. If you leave it too loose, it won't play. This insight led Siddhartha to realize the path of balance, the middle path, avoiding extremes. He broke his ascetic practices and his fellow ascetics abandoned him, thinking he had strayed from the path. Siddhartha then sat beneath the Bodhi tree, making a vow, "I will not rise from this seat until I have attained enlightenment, or I will die here." For the next 7 days, Siddhartha faced a series of challenges in his meditation. Mara, the demon of illusion, appeared before him and tried to distract him with temptations. He sent his daughters to seduce Siddhartha, but he saw through their illusions and remained undisturbed. Mara then summoned an army of demons to intimidate Siddhartha, proclaiming, "I am the lord of this realm, and I command all the forces of the world. Do not think you will succeed in your quest for enlightenment." But Siddhartha remained unshaken. "I am not afraid of your army. You cannot shake me from my path. I stand firm in my resolve." In a final attempt to break Siddhartha's will, Mara claimed, "I am the master of this world. You have no right to sit here. You are trespassing on my territory." Siddhartha responded, "I call upon the earth to bear witness to my past deeds. I have lived a virtuous life, and the earth will testify to my worthiness to attain enlightenment." Defeated by Siddhartha's spiritual power and unwavering resolve, Mara retreated. "You have conquered me," he said. Siddhartha replied, "I have not conquered you. I have simply understood that you are a projection of my own mind, the forces of desire, delusion, and fear. In overcoming you, I have overcome myself." This pivotal moment marks Siddhartha's attainment of enlightenment. Upon returning to society, Siddhartha was reluctant to share his newfound wisdom, but after many people approached him, eager to learn, he decided to share his teachings, which would eventually become the core principles of Buddhism. At the heart of Buddhism lies a profound understanding of human suffering and the path to liberation. The Buddha taught that by recognizing and addressing suffering, we can break free from the cycle of birth and rebirth. Dukkha, suffering exists. Life is inherently filled with suffering due to impermanence, desires, and attachments. This includes not only physical pain, but also emotional struggles, aging, illness, death, disappointment, and dissatisfaction. Even moments of joy are fleeting, as they are tied to things that will inevitably change. Samudaya, the cause of suffering. The root of suffering is craving and attachment. We desire pleasure, security, power, and even permanence in an impermanent world. Whether it's longing for material wealth, fearing loss, or clinging to an identity, these attachments fuel the cycle of suffering. Nirodha, the end of suffering. There is a way out. Suffering can end when we let go of attachment and illusion. This state is called nirvana, a profound liberation beyond suffering, where the mind is no longer bound by craving or ignorance. Magga, the path to liberation. The Buddha outlined a practical guide to end suffering, the Eightfold Path, a way of life that cultivates wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. The Eightfold Path is Buddhism's practical guide to liberation, a way of living that aligns wisdom, ethics, and mental discipline. It is divided into three categories. A. Wisdom, prajna, the path of insight. This concerns seeing reality clearly and aligning one's intentions with deeper spiritual truths. Number 1. Right view, samadhi, seeing reality as it truly is, understanding the Four Noble Truths, impermanence, and cause and effect, karma. This is gnosis, direct perception beyond intellect, where illusion dissolves and truth is known from within. Number 2. Right intention, sammasankappa, committing to self-purification by cultivating compassion, nonviolence, and detachment from selfish desires. It is a shift from the ego-driven action to higher purpose, like in alchemy, where raw desires are transmuted to align with divine will. B. Ethical conduct, sila, the path of integrity. Spirituality is meaningless without ethical living. This section governs how we bring wisdom into daily life. Number 3. Right speech, samavasa, speaking truthfully and wisely, avoiding lies, harsh words, gossip, or meaningless chatter. Words shape reality just as sacred mantras carry power in spiritual traditions. 4. Right action, samakanmanta, living with integrity and nonviolence, avoiding harm to self, others, and nature. This is karma yoga, where every action becomes a step towards awakening. 5. Right livelihood, samma ajiva, earning a living ethically, avoiding work that causes harm, deceit, or exploitation. It is securing resources in harmony with divine will, ensuring material pursuits do not cost others their well-being. C. Mental discipline, samadhi, the path of mastery. The mind is both the root of suffering and the key to liberation. This section focuses on mental purification and direct awakening. 6. Right effort, samavayama, constantly refining the mind, replacing negative thoughts with wisdom, joy, and peace. This is the alchemy of the mind, transforming base instincts into higher virtues. 7. Right mindfulness, samasati, deep awareness and presence, observing body, thoughts, and emotions without attachment. It is the expansion of consciousness beyond illusion, leading to profound self-realization. 8. Right concentration, sama samadhi, attaining deep meditative absorption, entering states of pure stillness where the ego dissolves and nirvana is directly experienced. This is the mystical union, the merging with divine presence. The middle way is the path of balance, neither indulgence nor self-denial, but a harmonious route to wisdom and enlightenment. Before attaining enlightenment, Buddha lived both extremes. As a prince, he experienced luxury, shielded from suffering and indulgence. As an ascetic, he pushed his body to the brink, nearly starving himself in self-denial. In both cases, he was trapped in illusion, one by excess, the other by deprivation. The middle way is the realization that true liberation lies beyond these extremes. In life, we also see dualities: eternalism versus nihilism, the belief in an eternal, unchanging soul versus the belief that nothing exists beyond death and actions have no meaning, dogma versus skepticism, blindly following doctrines without question versus rejecting all teachings, doubting everything, and refusing to commit. The middle way resolves these contradictions not by choosing sides, but by transcending them. The Eightfold Path is the middle way in practice: wisdom, right view and intention; ethics, right speech, action, and livelihood; mental discipline, right effort, mindfulness, and concentration. From an alchemical perspective, the middle way is the process of purification, balance, and transmutation, releasing both attachment and aversion, harmonizing opposites, and rising beyond duality to attain enlightenment. A bodhisattva embodies this wisdom. They do not escape the world like an ascetic. They do not cling to the world like a materialist. They walk between, helping others while remaining free from attachment. The middle way is not just a philosophy, it is a lived experience of harmony, clarity, and transcendence. In Buddhism, the three marks of existence describes the fundamental nature of reality, truths that shape every moment of life. Number 1, impermanence, anicca. Everything is in a constant state of change, flux, and transformation. Mountains erode, bodies age, stars explode, joy turns to sadness, opinions evolve. Wealth, status, and relationships shift like sand. Nothing stays the same. Like the alchemical transmutation of lead into gold, existence is an endless process of evolution. Resisting change only leads to suffering. Number 2, suffering, dukkha. Because everything changes, attachment leads to suffering. Pain, aging, and death are inevitable. Losing what we love is unavoidable. Even when life seems perfect, a subtle restlessness remains. The ego seeks permanence in a world of impermanence, causing frustration. But suffering isn't just misery, it's the fire of transformation, burning away illusion and leading to deeper wisdom. Number 3, non-self, anatta. There is no fixed, unchanging self. What we call I is just a shifting combination of 5 elements: form, the body; sensation, feelings of pleasure, pain, or neutrality; perception, recognition and categorization; mental formations, thoughts, emotions, and habits; consciousness, awareness itself. We cling to the illusion of a permanent self, but like a river, we are always flowing, never the same. Realizing this truth dissolves attachment and leads to liberation, nirvana. In alchemy, this is the breaking down of false identity to reveal spiritual transformation, the dissolution of the lead of the ego to uncover the gold of pure awareness. In Buddhism, karma and rebirth explains the cycle of existence and how our actions shape our reality. Number 1, karma, the law of cause and effect. Every action, physical, verbal, or mental, leaves an imprint that influences future experiences. Positive actions rooted in compassion and wisdom lead to happiness and growth. Negative actions driven by greed, hatred, or ignorance lead to suffering and limitation. Like a seed planted in fertile soil, our intentions and choices grow into the conditions of our future. Karma is not punishment or reward, but a mirror reflecting the energy we cultivate. Number 2, rebirth, the cycle of existence, samsara. Life is a continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth shaped by past karma. Until liberation is attained, we move through different states of existence, experiencing joy and suffering based on our past deeds and past lives. Not a fixed soul. Unlike some traditions that see rebirth as a soul jumping from body to body, Buddhism teaches that what continues is a stream of consciousness, ever changing like a river. 6 realms of samsara, depending on karma, beings are reborn into different states, from celestial heavens to suffering realms. Yet, even the highest realms are impermanent, and only nirvana offers true liberation. Number 3, breaking the cycle. Liberation, nirvana, the goal is not to endlessly reincarnate, but to awaken and transcend the cycle. By purifying karma, cultivating wisdom, and realizing non self, one becomes free from conditioned existence. In alchemy, karma is the process of refining the soul through experience, turning the lead of ignorance into the gold of enlightenment. Rebirth is like melting and reshaping metal, with each lifetime forging a stronger, purer spirit. Liberation is the moment the alchemist perfects the great work, reaching the eternal state of peace beyond form. The heart of the Buddhist path is not escape from life, but awakening within it, transforming delusion into wisdom, suffering into compassion, and self into freedom. Nirvana, the flame extinguished, the light revealed, it is not a place, but a state of being. It is the extinction of craving, the blowing out of the flame that feeds suffering, but it is also illumination, awakening to the boundless peace that was always present, hidden beneath the noise of the ego and desire. It is the alchemist's gold, the completion of the great work. When all false identities dissolve, what remains is pure awareness, unborn, undying, infinite. Not a reward, but a realization. Not an escape, but the highest return to truth. Dependent origination, the web of becoming. Suffering does not arise randomly, it unfolds from a precise chain of conditions. The Buddha described this in the 12 links of dependent origination. Ignorance leads to formations, formations to consciousness, consciousness to name and form to the senses to contact, contact to feeling, feeling to craving, craving to clinging, clinging to becoming, becoming to birth, birth to aging and death, and from death the cycle begins again. This is samsara, the wheel of becoming, held together by ignorance and craving. To see this clearly is to break the chain. To disrupt this pattern is to become free. In alchemy, this is the sacred disassembly, undoing the bindings of illusion to return to the source. The bodhisattva, the path of compassionate wisdom. A bodhisattva is one who has tasted nirvana but turns back to help others awaken. They do not cling to enlightenment as a personal prize, nor do they flee from the world. Instead, they walk the middle way with open hands, liberated yet present. They are the silent guides, the radiant hearts, the invisible protectors. Like Mercury in alchemy, they flow between realms, bridging the material and spiritual. Their vow is not to escape suffering alone, but to awaken all beings, even if it takes infinite lifetimes. The Bodhisattva is the perfected philosopher's stone, neither bound by form nor separate from it. They are the light within matter, the soul within action, the divine within the world. The heart of the Buddhist path is not belief, but direct experience. And meditation is the crucible, the inner chamber where the raw material of the self is transmuted into clarity, wisdom, and peace. The stillness that reveals. In meditation, we turn inward, not to escape the world, but to see it more clearly. By observing the breath, sensations, thoughts, and emotions without judgment, we learn the truth of impermanence and the illusion of self. Like an alchemist watches over the flame, steady and precise, we sit with presence. We allow the mind's turbulence to settle, and in that stillness, the gold of insight rises to the surface. The two wings. concentration, and insight. Meditation is often divided into two intervallic practices: samatha, calming the mind, cultivating deep focus, tranquility, and absorption. This is sharpening the blade, tempering the vessel, preparing the ground. Vipassana, insight, observing the nature of reality as it is. This is the actual transmutation, seeing through illusion to the essence beneath. Together, they form the wings that carry the practitioner across the abyss of ignorance into the sky of awakening. The path is lived, not just sitting it out. Meditation does not end when the bell rings. True practice flows into speech, thought, and action, into how we treat others, how we listen, how we love. It refines the inner metals, turning anger into patience, greed into generosity, confusion into clarity. Every step, every breath, every moment becomes the lab of transformation. This is the alchemy of everyday life, where even suffering becomes fuel for awakening. A word to the practitioner. If you want an easy meditation technique, simply narrate to yourself inside your mind, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. If you want a difficult meditation technique, don't narrate anything. Sit down, focus on your heart and your breath, and when it becomes difficult to remain seated, that is when the meditation begins. Force yourself to remain in this state. Find your discipline. Observe what happens within. Do something you don't want to do to learn the difference between your fake desires and your true will. Everyone you meet who use language, thoughts, and speak are all stuck in samsara, the wandering, the cycle, and Maya, the illusion, the divine play. A majority of people are unaware of the lies of the ego, the lies they tell themselves, or the illusion they uphold, projecting onto other people based on their own assumptions. I am not who you think I am. You are who you think I am. The way you perceive me reflects more about you than it does about me, for your thoughts and judgments are shaped by your own experiences, beliefs, and biases. On the opposite end of Samsara and Maya, we find Moksha, the liberation, and Bodhi, the awakening. Most religions and spiritual philosophies work with very similar concepts, going from a state of darkness and everyday mundane to a brighter and more insightful lifestyle. Some may call it salvation, redemption, being reborn, phala, jhana, teshuva, olam haba, ananda, sukha, fana, union with God, experiencing eternal bliss, tawhid, peace of God, shanti, satori, enlightenment, awakening, kundalini shakti, rising. There are many words for similar states of being. In order to get there, we can ask some profound questions of which the answer might take a lifetime for some to find. If a tree falls in a forest and there's no one there to hear it fall, does it make a sound? No, it does not, for there is no ear there to hear, so there is no noise generated inside your mind. What is the origin of thought? Is it you, or is it something that can be perceived as you? What is the origin of desire? Is it you, or is it habitual patterns formed in the past? Who were you before you were born? Look beyond your body and physical existence. You see, you are in everything. What is the difference between your consciousness and the consciousness of others? There is no difference. There is only one consciousness alive at any point. Is the voice inside your head real? Does it exist? No, it does not exist outside of yourself. It is not really real. It's the illusion. Who is that voice inside your head if you can ask it questions and talk to it? You've lived all your life with that thinking voice, but never asked questions to it directly. Is that voice, the ego, just an idea, an identity, a clinging to what is the ultimate illusion of self? You are not the ego, you are not the voice, but rather the one who is aware of it. The liberation from the illusion of your mind and the material comes from within you by asking really difficult questions about your own mind and the world. Once you see through the boundaries of your own mind and body and see that you are indeed not divided or separate from the whole, that is everything, even time itself, you become a fearless, disciplined master, an unpredictable wild card, a consciousness who is no longer suffering by creating your own suffering, but rather in acceptance with your existence, where you are from, and where you're going. Buddhism is not a classical religion. It is not a dogmatic or stigmatic practice. It is not an obligation or obedience, but rather a system, a template, a philosophy, a discipline. It's mastery and understanding. Not all Christians are Buddhists, but Buddhists understand Christianity better than Christians. So here are some vital questions we must ask if we truly wish to awaken. What if the voice inside your head is not you, but just a habit of the mind echoing itself? If you are the observer of your thoughts, who then is truly thinking them? If all things are impermanent, including your body, your memories, your identity, what exactly is it that reincarnates? What if karma is not just action and consequence, but a curriculum, testing your own past with who you are right now, guiding your soul towards mastery? If your suffering is a fire, could it be refining you into gold? What if there is no final heaven or nirvana, no eternal punishment other than being reborn, only cycles of experience until wisdom is found? Is the self just a mask worn by the same single awareness playing every role perceivable? If you are not your name, not your thoughts, not your roles or titles, then who are you? If everyone you meet is a mirror reflecting your hidden layers, can you truly judge anyone? If Samsara and Maya is the dream and Nirvana is the awakening, how do you know which state you're in right now? What if moksha, liberation, is not something you attain or learn, but something you remember deep within? Can meditation crack the illusion, peel back the veil, and show you what's always been there? Is the end of suffering the end of desire or the end of the illusion of separation? If everything is one, truly one, then what is there to fear? And finally, if enlightenment is real, then what is stopping you right now from being free? Truth is stranger than fiction. The questions raised here are just another thread in a much larger tapestry. Take what resonates with you, explore the unknown, and question the answers you've been given. If you are ready to go deeper, subscribe for more explorations into these mysteries. Together, we can seek wisdom beyond the boundaries of belief.